Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our keynote series as part of CUTRIC's second annual Low Carbon Smart Mobility Technology Conference. I'm delighted today to introduce with me here MPP Donna Skelly, who's Ontario's Member of Provincial Parliament for Flamborough-Glanbrook, which, as many of you will know, is not too far away from the operations of Hamilton Street Railway, a transit agency that's pursuing several innovative pathways currently. Importantly, MPP Skelly is the Parliamentary Assistant to the Minister of Economic Development, Job Creation and Trade, a ministry that we at CUTRIC have worked with extensively over the past few years, so we're excited to have her here. It's a very innovative ministry in this province, and the work that that ministry does is critical to the innovation future of mobility. Ontario residents might also recall that MPP Skelly served on the City of Hamilton City Council for several years prior to becoming a provincial politician, and there she was known to be an advocate for taxpayer efficiencies, making sure we get the greatest bang out of our buck when it comes to city services, something that we think is very important when it comes to transit integration and technology. And equally important, she's been a long-time journalist, a long career journalist who helped innovate the transition to digital news services. So as I understand, MPP Skelly, innovation is hardly new to you, which is what we love to hear at CUTRIC. And today it's my great pleasure, MPP Skelly, to pass the virtual microphone over to you so that we can hear your insights on the future of mobility and innovation in Ontario and globally. Welcome.
Well, thank you very much, and good morning, everyone. You know, it really is great to have the chance to speak at your second Low Carbon Smart Mobility Technology Conference. Now, thank you for bringing together innovators, transit agencies, industry, and government to collaborate. Working together, we can find solutions for better, smarter transit and unlock the economic potential of our communities. Right now, we really do have our work cut out for us. And it will take all of us working together to get the economy back on track. The latest monthly job numbers for Ontario showed a decrease in employment. Those numbers highlight the immense impact that COVID-19 has had and the need to get our business back up and running as quickly and as safely as possible. But we are seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. The province is easing restrictions as part of our stage-by-stage approach to reopening the economy. We are proceeding with extreme caution, moving carefully at each stage, and continuing to listen to the advice of health experts. The last thing we want is a resurgence of the virus to undo the progress that we have worked so hard together to achieve. Ontario's COVID-19 action plan focuses on three priority areas: supporting our healthcare system, supporting people and families, and supporting businesses. On the business front, support measures include providing $10 billion in provincial tax deferrals, WSIB premium deferrals, and other business supports. Electricity rate relief. The government will continue the suspension of time of use electricity rates, and starting on June 1st, customers were billed based on a new fixed COVID-19 recovery rate of 12.8 cents per kilowatt hour. We have also committed $241 million to partner with the federal government and deliver more than $900 million in urgent relief to small businesses and their landlords through the Canada Emergency Commercial Rent Assistance Program. And we've also established a special Tackling the Barriers online portal to help identify regulatory hurdles hindering businesses and negatively impacting Ontario's supply chain. COVID-19 will have long-term impacts on the way businesses operate, and the Ontario Jobs and Recovery Committee is planning for the new reality. Virtual consultations are underway right across government, across all sectors of the economy. We are seeking ideas and input to help shape a comprehensive plan that sets Ontario on the road to recovery. Our ministry has already held several productive sessions. From the outset of this crisis, the response from the business community has been exceptional. Scores of companies, large and small, have retooled their operations to make emergency supplies and equipment. Our government offers heartfelt thanks to everyone for playing their part. The COVID-19 outbreak has shown that we need to grow our domestic supply chain to avoid being beholden to other countries for essential supplies. And Ontario certainly has the capability to do this. For example, our clusters for auto manufacturing and IT rank second in North America. and our clean technology cluster is the largest in Canada. To help tap into our homegrown talent and resources, we created the Ontario Together web portal to connect the province with businesses, researchers, and organizations who can supply emergency products or have innovative solutions to support our response to COVID-19. And the response has been overwhelming. More than 17,000 emergency supplies have led to converting $610 million in purchases of critical supplies and equipment to support staff on the front lines, including more than 21 million gowns, more than 168 million gloves, 123 million masks, and over 4 million face shields. Numbers alone can never convey how important that PPE is to frontline healthcare workers. We want to ensure people who are returning to work have a strong supply of personal protective equipment, or PPE, now and in the future. And that's why our government is making it a priority to support innovative businesses through the Ontario Together Fund. The $50 million fund helps businesses retool their operations to manufacture essential medical supplies and equipment. And we have moved quickly on this, already announcing projects with 4 local manufacturers, with more to follow. And to support business owners, workers, and the economic recovery of the province, we launched the Workplace PPE Supplier Directory. It has an up-to-date list of Ontario companies and business associations that are already and are ready to supply personal protective equipment. So businesses can keep their employees, their customers, and their clients safe as they resume their operations. COVID has changed many things, including how we work and how we get to work, but it has not changed Ontario's innovative spirit. Certainly, technology is enabling many more types of work to be conducted remotely, and COVID-19 has energized the discussion around those possibilities. Often cited advantages of working remotely include less commuting, leading to less congestion and less pollution, particularly for densely populated urban areas such as the GTA, where gridlock is a major issue. Remote working could be part of the solution. But there is another angle, the flip side to this issue that we cannot ignore. Regardless of COVID-19, many people have continued to travel each and every day to their jobs. This includes healthcare workers, frontline staff, and grocery store clerks, people to whom we all owe a great deal. So an efficient and low-emission transportation system, including public transportation and roads, remains essential to a vibrant economy and good standard of living. And this is why our government is also continuing to build on our Driving Prosperity Auto Plan. Recognizing the importance that innovative mobility solutions will play in Ontario's future, we are looking at opportunities to strengthen auto and mobility technology development and adoption right across the province. We know municipal transit agencies across the province are facing significant financial challenges as a result of COVID-19. Since the beginning of this pandemic, the Minister of Transportation, Caroline Mulroney, has been working closely with our municipal transit partners and stakeholders, including the large Urban Mayors Caucus of Ontario and Ontario Public Transit Association. At the direction of Minister Mulroney, ministry officials have been working to urgently develop solutions to assist municipal transit agencies. Ultimately, this problem is national in scope and demands federal action. We expect the federal government to do their part in providing financial support for municipal transit agencies here in Ontario. The province is moving forward with the next step in building the Ontario Line, the signature project in the largest subway expansion in the province's history. The government is issuing the first 2 public-private partnership requests for qualifications to identify and qualify those who will design, build, and maintain the subway line. At the end of May, the Ontario-York Region Transit Partnership Preliminary Agreement was signed. The landmark preliminary agreement with York Region will help significantly expand the subway network through the delivery of the Yonge North Subway Extension, one of the 4 priority projects included in Ontario's new subway plan for the GTA. This plan represents the largest subway expansion in Canadian history. Step by step, we move closer to delivering on our government's plan for more rapid transit, reliable and seamlessly connected transit in the GTA. Our government remains committed to building much needed infrastructure, reducing congestion, developing transit-oriented communities with a greater variety of housing options, and connecting people to places and jobs as we responsibly lead Ontario's economy back to a strong position. Now, I'd like to take a moment to talk about the great work and innovation in our automotive and mobility sectors. Ontario is second in vehicle production in North America and has the continent's second largest IT cluster. That's a unique and powerful combination. Ontario stands alone in hosting 5 global auto assemblers. But we know the automotive sector is changing with more of a focus on shared mobility using new technologies and business models. There are already more than 200 companies and organizations pioneering connected and autonomous vehicle technologies in the province. It's clear that connected and autonomous vehicles are poised to revolutionize our world and our lives. Wired magazine says self-driving cars could contribute up to $7 trillion to the global economy by 2050. And yes, that was trillion with a T. That's an economic opportunity Ontario cannot afford to miss out on. And beyond dollars and cents, we anticipate that connected and autonomous vehicles will offer a better future, leading to safer roads, less congestion, and a healthier environment. Ontario has one foot firmly in the future of the transportation sector, and organizations such as CUTRIC have an important role to play in helping to pilot and commercialize new vehicles and technologies and develop service applications that will support our efforts to achieve smart and sustainable mobility. I hope you have a great many discussions and connections during this conference. The ideas and innovation that you are fostering will make the future of mobility safer, greener, and more efficient. Thank you for your commitment to making our society better, our environment cleaner, and our economy stronger.
Thank you so much, MPP Skelly. That's just fantastic in terms of the lineup of the items that you've identified as being critical to this province. And just by way of segue into one of the first questions that some of our members would like to pose of you, you mentioned the fact that we've got these job losses happening and we have to balance that with the move to growth. Mentioned a lot of supports like rent support, which, by the way, as a small company, CUTRIC has benefited from, so we greatly appreciate that. And then you've mentioned the fact that there's this automotive innovation cluster, and we have the potential ability to grow that innovation cluster in this province for a worldwide global economy. Now at CUTRIC, we look at the electromobility and automation and connected landscape from automotive and try to get it into heavy duty buses and coaches to try to get it into trucks. And we've got some of those players like Toyota that's now making electric buses, and we have Linamar, Magna that are already involved in automation, connection and connectivity and electrification of powertrains. So we have a question coming from one of our large manufacturers, Nova Bus, which makes electric buses in Canada, but they're part of Volvo Group. And Volvo Group is a large global corporation that makes electric, hydrogen fuel cell technologies for trucks and buses and coaches, so a large automotive player. The question is basically, from a deployment standpoint, what does this new normal, this post-COVID-19 new normal look like for cities in Ontario that are trying to go electric, that are trying to innovate their transit systems, that are trying to integrate these innovative tools of automation, connectivity, and electrification? Has the COVID crisis slowed down the ability of Ontario transit systems to integrate technology, or is it going to expedite our opportunity to integrate those technologies, since so many of them are coming out of our own automotive sector?
It's a great question, and our government really is committed to continuing to work closely with our partners like Nova Bus to find solutions to these challenges that are so unprecedented. In mid-June, I think it was June 11th, our government, in consultation with public health and transit officials, released a guidance document specifically designed for public transit agencies. The guidance document provides consistent information that transit agencies can use to help prevent the spread of COVID-19 so that commuters feel more confident using public transit again. That's one of the big concerns that I hear. I'm a part of a number of conferences and committee meetings that we're hosting, and hearing from people right across the province and having confidence again to go out and use public transit is huge. And as our province begins to reopen, it really is imperative that we do everything that we can to protect those that are planning to take a train, a bus, a subway, or a streetcar. We want everyone to feel safe using public transit again.
Well, I certainly echo those sentiments. And that just segues into a question emanating out of your dialogue around innovation. CUTRIC has run an innovation program with your ministry for several years now, looking at electric, autonomous, connected mobility systems. And the question here is from our members, to what extent has the pandemic actually opened up the door as an opportunity to spur innovation? In other words, we're thinking about this crisis, we're worried about people's health and safety, and we got to overcome that. But maybe there's a new opportunity here for data collection or autonomous and driverless shuttles or building out subways faster, a way to open a door to investing in those green infrastructure deployments like subways and other technologies that could move people more quickly. So can the province leverage the crisis in any way to create an innovation agenda to create jobs and as a job creation initiative?
COVID-19 certainly has presented many challenges, and it has been very difficult for many businesses across Ontario. But as you said, there are opportunities, and the province recognizes the importance and the critical role of new vehicle technology, especially if it expands mobility options for Ontarians. But again, and I'll go back, safety really is our top priority. Ensuring that new vehicle types can integrate safely with pedestrians and other vehicles on the road is a key consideration before any vehicle is allowed on the road. Connected and automated vehicles are expected to really transform the way that the Ministry of Transportation operates. And we believe that this technology could revolutionize traffic management, road safety, and how we collect data. And again, the Ministry of Transportation is examining how CV and AV technology can help meet our broader transportation goals in a number of key areas such as infrastructure, operations, and our policy and regulatory frameworks. There are CV and AV initiatives underway at MTO, including Ontario pilot projects, which allow some automated vehicles on the road, but again, safety is a priority.
Well, I want to really thank you again, MPP Skelly, because that's given us just a fantastic overview of the effort that the government's taking in order to address COVID and get people back to work safely and securely, while recognizing the change in the way that we might work and move in the future, while trying to integrate all the great investments in automotive engineering and innovation that could find its way into transit. And you certainly did discuss, the deployment and more rapid deployment of subway expansions, which for those of us in the industry, we're well aware is electrified transportation and great for the environment. So I want to thank you on behalf of everybody at our Low Carbon Smart Mobility Technology Conference for your time, for your commitment, and for your investment into making the province ready for the 21st century. Thank you so much, MPP Skelly.
Thank you, and all have a great conference and stay safe.